So, one of my favorite authors, J.K. Rowling, right? She writes this book. The movie's coming out, right? I can hardly wait. If my husband takes my kid to that movie without me, I'm going to be mad. Okay, and she writes this book about Harry Potter. Who's the gifted kid in Harry Potter? Hermione. Are Harry and Ron gifted? I see there's a mixed bag going on here, isn't there? Maybe in some areas, maybe not. What happens to Harry and Ron when they're in class with Hermione? They copy off of her. Do they step up and try really hard, or do they let her do the work? They let her do the work because they know that she's smarter than they are. At least they think she is. Well, why is she smarter than they are? What does she do when she's not in class? She studies. She knows more than the professors. My goodness, this girl has a time turner, so she can go to twice as many classes. It wouldn't matter what system of identification you had in any country or any state, that kid would be identified as gifted, wouldn't she? Harry and Ron, not so much. So let's take this, I call this the Hermione effect. Let's take Harry and Ron and put them out of that class, okay? We're going to put them in their own, we're going to take Hermione out, and we're going to put her in a class with other Hermiones. They're not all going to necessarily love each other, but they're going to challenge each other for the first time. And Harry and Ron are left in potions without her to lean on. What do they have to do for the first time? They got to pay attention. They got to take notes. And she's not even in class with them, so she probably can't help them because she doesn't even know the assignment. And all of a sudden, what you see is the Hermione effect. You see Harry and Ron, maybe they are gifted. They just weren't working hard because they were comparing themselves to her. And next year, when you re-identify, the classroom teacher says, man, that Ron Weasley, he's brilliant. I can't believe you didn't identify him last year. That's why the above average kids go in the other classrooms, because guess what? They emerge. So here's a teacher who says when you pull those really high kids out, those who always have their hands up first and jump in with the answers, listen to her language. When you get rid of those students, she no longer considered them her spark. She was glad to have them gone. And then qualitatively, we found use of grouping, teachers matter, and the general school environment was strong. They used within grade grouping. They grouped between classes. The grouping was flexible. You know, because it's not the same kids every year. New kids come in. If a child is reading at a high level, they pull them together to read with other kids who are reading at a high level. And the teachers believe that the grouping helped them identify more smart kids. This teacher says by using achievement grouping, we're able to challenge the high achievers and meet the needs of the low achievers. And the fact that teachers matter, I'll just give you one example from this slide because we're running almost out of time. We told the teachers, the 3 teachers who had the high achieving cluster, we said, you have to compact your curriculum if you teach these kids. You must pre-test and find out if they already know it, or if they can learn it faster, you have to do other things with them. That was a requisite for them to be a teacher of the high achieving gifted cluster. We gave all the teachers curriculum compacting training, and when we did our qualitative study, we found that 11 of the 14 teachers used compacting regularly. So rather than simply train the teachers who have the highest achievers how to compact, you make that accessible to the whole school, and then you see 11 out of 14. That's pretty good to be using compacting regularly, especially when they don't have the identified kids, right? Strong administrative leadership and support, professional development opportunities. They believed in each other, and people in this building believed that the program mattered for them and for their students. This superintendent's name is Dick Tate, which I think is funny. Isn't that a great name for a superintendent? Teachers are the, but listen to how he says this. Yeah, Dick Tate, right? Okay. The teachers are the, I student taught in 4th grade with a principal whose name was Richard Noose. Can you imagine being sent to that office? The teachers are the ones making the decisions. They have a great deal of say in the program. I think this type of leadership in the classroom has given them real ownership in the program. Our job as administrators is to support the program the teachers have developed. Pretty nice, huh? Not so much of a dictator. Another thing that happens is when you have somebody who works consistently with bright kids and knows gifted pedagogy, that person becomes a staff development catalyst. Here's a teacher, I love this quote. She says, "I've learned so much from teacher 3A, and I adapt many of the strategies she uses with her high achievers and use them with my learning disabled and low achievers. I don't think Gifted Ed is just for gifted students." She's stealing the goods, folks, and that's a good thing.